Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. Ro is on her way. I'll give our co host an opportunity to introduce herself before I get started. So go ahead and do so, Des.
Hi, I'm Des, better known as Delicious Designs, and I am here just to enjoy the night with you guys.
Okay. Well, let's start. So, Jackie Christie and Chantel Christie. We all know that this topic and situation is very ugly. It is very sensitive. Anytime you have something to do with family, it's very sensitive. However, with this new space that we have entered, people are going on reality TV shows and they're being vulnerable with what is going on in their lives and what they are experiencing in their vulnerability to go live and express how they feel and the different things that they're going through. There is some accountability needed when we see certain things, right? So for me, are Jackie and Chantel villains? They're not villains. They're just two people. Unfortunately, I know they're mother and daughter, but they are actually two adult women who need to sit down and have a proper conversation and address every fact that they have to go through, every hurt, every trauma, as two grown women, adults. In that space, we all know that the space of TV is hard enough alone. It's fireworks. It should have never been on reality TV, but now it is. So if you can relate in any way, please think about this from a space where we are healing. We're speaking in an auntie voice, a big mama voice, and not a mom or daughter voice, because some of us could have traumas in that space. And unless you have healed from it, you don't have good advice to offer. Sometimes it's because it's coming from a hurt place. And for those of you that do, kudos to you. That is amazing. And I'm not being funny. I mean it for real. But Chantel decided to go sit in front of Carlos King. And then Takari, the other daughter, decided to go sit in front of Make It Make Sense. So tonight, what we're going to go through is um, what it looks like when Takari speaks versus when Chantel speaks, and how they have a totally different perspective of their mom, even at this point, which, to be fair, can actually happen in a home. You can have two kids from the same mom, same dad, and they could have two totally different experiences. The thing that we have control over is what we do with those experiences and when we get older, which is called reparenting. So I'll jump right in. If there are any triggers, please don't respond in a way that is disrespectful, at least not on my live. If you do it later in the comments, I can't really say nothing. But on the live, I would like to get more out of this in a healing space and an accountability space. So I'm going to start with the clip of where this all started for those that are not aware. If you can, make sure that you share this live now, especially if you have somebody in your life that has gone through things with a parent and who has been a parent and gone through things as well. So make sure that you share the show. Here we go. Here is the first, there's what I say. Here's the first clip of where this all started. So here we go.
I wanted to.
So, really quickly, I've had an opportunity to give the prerequisite before we started. So, I'll start with you, ladies. When you see that clip, what's the first thing that comes to mind? And speak as an auntie or a big mama, not judging,
She's
but how do you feel?
disrespectful. She's disrespectful. Very disrespectful. There's no way I would talk to my mama like that. She's not in our era. We would have been, they would have been planning a funeral for us.
Very much.
So, how I feel in one of her clips, she discussed, and people in this space that have this issue discuss, um, that we are taught traditionally to always respect our elders no matter what they do. That is actually in the Bible as well. And here's what I feel it looks like. It doesn't mean that you agree with what they do. It doesn't mean that a mom is not completely horrible, nasty, and out of control. It doesn't mean any of those things. But for me, and this is what Takari has done, which is why they're total polar opposites. If there is something that you don't agree with, most of us say, I can't wait to get grown so I can get what? Out of this house. So you disconnect. Well, you don't have to go to the space of being disrespectful, because then you're causing your own karma, your own things you have to deal with. It's not healthy. You are now entering the lion's den. It's just as easy, if you can get to that level of frustration with your mom on her platform, that you should have said no to doing the show, because you guys can't coexist in space. Period. That's how I feel.
Mommy, I did not want to go to school.
Get out of there.
I
Now
did not
let's
want to
play
go to
the
school.
next clip.
I
And
did
what
not want to
I
go to
think
school.
one of the root causes is within this family dynamic. So for Chantel and Jackie, from a young age, in her Carlos King interview, it seems, well, she said that there are times when the dad would separate her from the mom, and she's always been the one to be more vocal. If you're admitting that, then you're letting me know that you've challenged your mom from the beginning, and it seems like something is missing. So I'm going to let you hear what she said, and then we are going to talk about it, because these two things are very crucial for me in level setting. So let's take a
How
listen.
does your father feel about what happened?
I think that he is trying to process some very heavy feelings. I think that he is at a point in his life where all of these great things are happening. You know, he has this new opportunity as the head coach, and so any conversations that I have had with him have really just been him keeping me encouraged and telling me that, you know, I know your heart. Like, I know that you're not this person that people are making you out to be. I know that this was a long time coming. When I talked to him after the Hawaii thing happened, I said, Dad, you know our dynamic. You know that this is not, I didn't get on here with the intent to do this. And so I think that having his understanding and knowing that he knows our history is very reassuring. And I think that what people get misconstrued, and I've seen all sorts of sick comments like I'm such and such from Eve's Bayou and I want my dad and all of this and that. What they fail to realize is that he has been my protector in times that I needed one. He has been that source of relief. When things in the house are too heavy or whatever, he will remove me from the situation before I get to the point of disrespecting her. You understand what I'm saying? So I look to him. Anything that comes to her, I'm going to my dad about it, period. Because you know what it is that I'm dealing with. And I feel like if nobody else can get you together, Doug Christie can.
You feel like your father is the only one who understands Jackie Christie
And is the only one that
and
can
the only
really...
one that can check her.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
A lot of people were not happy with you as well when you did say that's why Doug is leaving you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Would you like to address that?
What I can say about that is it's not my place to speak on anybody else's marriage. It was very, like I said, tacky and tasteless, and was clearly just, when I watch myself say that, I'm like, girl, now you know that you didn't have to take it to hell. You did not have to take it that far.
So when you hear that clip, what do you think?
Well, well, I think that she finally came to a place where she can at least admit her flaws and saw where she was wrong and did her due diligence not to do it again in that moment. Although she did take her business, she did go to clear the air. And in clearing the air, she also had respect for their wishes of keep your mouth off that.
Okay. What do you get from it, Ro?
To me, I still think that she's not taking accountability. Like she's basically just saying her daddy know what she's going through, and he the only one that know how to deal with her. He's the only one that knows what she's going through. She's not taking accountability on nothing that she do. And it's funny just listening to her. She sounds just like her mama. Like her voice, she sound like Jackie.
She does.
But she ain't taking no accountability at all.
Okay.
That's what
So
I get out of it.
the comment says she spoke more maturely. Yes, she was very careful with her words.
Hmm.
And so I see it a little bit differently than all of you. And that's the beauty. I see what you say, but I see a little bit deeper. Um, Des says she kept her mouth off of the marriage, and that's true. She did technically keep her name off the marriage, but why didn't she said that's no place for me to talk about what's going on in a marriage. So you're further doubling down and confirming instead of saying, I said that when I was angry and I shouldn't have said that. Why didn't you leave it at that? You were very calculated to make sure the narrative was still out there. You also said, my dad was the one that separated us. And then you said, he protects you, but there was a sort of excitement in her voice when she heard, no, he can check her. He could put her in her place. Well, I feel like as the man of the house, you should have been checked and put in your place a long time ago. The understanding part, the you're babying her. And not one part of that, when we hold each other accountable, what's one of the things we say? We love our friends, we love our circle because not only do you comfort me in my time of need, you call me on my shit so I could be a better person. Nowhere in there did she say that. Doug pacifies this to me. Doug pacifies the situation on both sides
Mhm.
because a long time ago, when you noticed that this was happening, you should have set your family down. You should have set your wife down to tell her if she was wrong, how she was wrong in interacting with her daughter, but then, which is your daughter. And then you also should have checked your daughter and let her know in no particular circumstance, ma'am, should you ever feel like you should check a situation or even call for me to check it. You have no authority over my wife and you can't run and tell on her. What we can do is discuss things as a family, though. And now it has evolved into this person she is today, believing she has the ability to check Jackie. How? That doesn't make sense. If that would have been fixed a long time ago, we wouldn't be here. But that's how I feel. I don't agree, and I believe it's deep rooted, which is why she runs to her dad. Run to your own husband. Why you not running to your husband?
But it ain't nothing it ain't nothing to me that her husband could say to her mama.
But you can only run to your husband for your comfort because what you're going to is for understanding. She said it. What you're going to is for understanding and those type of things. Why not start to rely on your husband for those things? Why are you
Well,
still doing
they
it
said her and her
because,
husband really ain't even together no more. So that's probably why she can't run to him.
well, if she was still with her husband, she could have ran to
Yeah,
him
like so.
and let
I
him know
don't
those
even care
things.
what it was.
Allow him to comfort you. That
Yeah, no
doesn't make
matter
sense
what
to me.
she did, no matter what, she's dead wrong. I don't care what your mama did. Like if you felt like your mama was wrong, you should have called your daddy and had your daddy talk to your mama. It's nowhere in this world you should talk to your mom like that. And girl, you just took a lot of days off of your life. And it's
You
probably
did.
been a long time ago. Like you do not talk to your parents like that. I don't care.
No,
She
she was
can't
asked
justify none
very
of that
nicely
stuff.
to leave several times. And in the scene before, y'all, she actually Jackie left her room first
Hmm.
in another scene, and Jackie was waiting at the elevator. She came out the room to approach Jackie yet again. Jackie stood there. I'm not doing this with you. I love you too much. I'm not doing this with you. She then, because the elevator was taking too long, went
Took
and
the
started
stairs.
trying to walk down the stairs. She
Mhm.
antagonized her and walked behind her, still talking to her like that. Miss Ma'am, that is never okay. He wants peace, but he waits until it's beyond control. I agree. That's why I started with nobody is a villain, so to speak. And this is a real family we're talking about. And people really go through these things. Men are not good with things like this all the time, but you should have taken care of your household because now it's just really out of control. And I think you just wanted to keep both women happy, but one of them wasn't a woman when you was keeping somebody happy. You shouldn't have been keeping her happy. You should have been training her way up in the way that a child should go, and then she wouldn't be acting like this. That's how I feel. So let's listen to Takari and see how she feels now that she has been interviewed and to find out she's actually somebody that gets attacked by Chantel as well. Chantel don't get along or deal with nobody. Oh, she wants to be put in a headlock. I'll send it to you, Mom. It was bad. I didn't even see that clip until I was looking for this one. I didn't see that one. I didn't know because I stopped watching Basketball Wives after I saw the one where Chantel walked in to talk to Evelyn, and the majority of that conversation was talking about her mom. Check this out, homie. I can say whatever I want to about my mom, but when I'm talking to you as my friend about my mom, you can agree with me, could do all of those things, but joining in and stuff like that, mm-mm. My mama not my enemy. Her mama, she's her mama's enemy, and that's sad. Let's see. So here we go with the first clip of the daughter who everybody is heavily weighing their beliefs on about who Jackie is as a person. Although we just saw her for a whole season avoid beating and dog walking. Girl, here we go.
If a conversation is not getting us the results that we want,
We don't want that one. Y'all gotta love me, don't you? Okay, yep, it is.
if a conversation is not getting us the results that we want, we're old enough to turn to God by ourselves and just ask Him to heal our hearts and go on about our business, because I don't see where the good comes from this.
Yeah, Jackie Christie has a right hook.
Listen, I don't know better than that one. Listen, that's the Central District of Seattle. I would have never played with it. I'm not even gonna lie with y'all. And you know what? What's crazy is we have heard the stories. You know, my mom has shared some stories with us about her growing up and how she was out there fighting, and the kid didn't mess with her, and she held that throughout life. You know,
Jackie was out there fighting in the streets.
My mom was that woman is a whole warrior. That woman is. That's what I said when I said my sister don't know her. I wasn't trying to be funny. I have had conversations with our family. Like, my mom is a prideful woman, you know. Where we came in at is all we need to know. You know, who she was before she had children and all that stuff. Not a lot of that was shared with us. So to talk to family and hear about their family dynamics and how they came up and the struggles and comparing that to ourselves or like my life, that made me give my mom so much grace, you know. It really just that, oh, she's just a girl. She's just a girl type situation.
So, what do you guys feel when you hear how Takari feels?
I was surprised because, well, you know what? I thought I was surprised because I actually thought that they didn't get along. But you know, I don't watch Basketball Wives, so I was surprised to hear her talk about that because I thought she was the black sheep.
We all were made to think that. So after that show where both of the girls sat in front of whatever therapist that they were talking to, expressed what some of their traumas were, and Jackie explained, different things, like even about her weight, when one of the things was there was a huge emphasis on Takari's weight. Jackie explained it as an adult having the conversation and was like, I was like that because I know how cold the world can be. And I knew we would be in the spotlight. And I just wanted better for you and more for you. I didn't want nobody to be coming for you and things like that. Takari then took that and was like, now I see it. Now I understand. That makes sense. I wish it would have been done differently. But as an adult and as a mom, I now get it. That is what healing looks like. It appears as though, unfortunately, from that space, Chantel did not forgive her mom, and none of those things were acceptable to her, which is interesting because you want this. There are some kids, and it's so unhealthy, that want to over and over and over and over and over apology from the mom. They want to remind them every time that they become angry that you did this to me and you did that to me. And unfortunately, for some mothers, because even through divine purpose, I've talked to moms, that child has to work that out, who is now an adult. Please stop feeling like you're a bad parent. You did the best you could. You also went back and had discussions. It's nothing you could do. You got to let that go because they're going to keep hurting you. So just know that it's not true and move forward. That's something that adult/kid has to work out now. So that's the way it looks sometimes, which is really sad because the case was ever since then, they've actually been talking. They stay in contact and they're moving towards having a better relationship. Supposedly, the granddaughter really loves her. She dresses just like her. She reminds her of her. She smiled every time that she talked about her mom. But it's crazy the way the world will have you thinking something, or media, so that you will be against Jackie all this time. And Jackie has been saying all this time, that's not true. That's not true. But also respecting her daughter's wishes and not pushing her out there in front of a camera to vindicate for her. She took it by herself. And she earned a different kind of strength too. For hers, I want to do it by myself. For her, it's I'm now tapping into what my talents and strengths are. It looks totally different than this other one, which is interesting. Let's see how she explained Jackie at the beginning of the show, and then we'll come back and see how Des feels. Let's listen.
My mom is one of 9. My grandma had 9 kids. And this is the one that you chose to live with, help out. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there are still 8 other children, but my mom was more so like, I'm not going to say the problem child, but I think that my grandmother knew she's the one that needs it the most. And so having her there, it was like she just picked up a lot of the slack. She just did all the things. You're cooking every meal. You're taking us to school, pick up, drop off, sitting in the parking lot sometimes. Like, do you get what I'm saying? You're being the mother for her. And whether that was you are enabling her to not step up to the plate as a mom, whether you feel like you're giving her the support that she needs for her own mental, I don't know. And because my grandmother is no longer here, I can't really have that conversation and get that sort of clarity and understanding to be able to better understand my mom. I don't have that.
In this very moment, I have
First, Carlos King, I love you, and I strongly desire to work with you one day. You're an empath. That girl didn't say anything that you recap for her. You recap for her because she wouldn't say certain stuff like, you take full accountability, right? Well, yeah, but she didn't. Let her say it. But go ahead. How do you guys feel when you see how she opened up her apology video that she requested to go on that platform? How do y'all feel?
That was an apology. That was an apology.
Was that an apology?
That's how she opened up. That was how she opened up the video. Now you saw the way
I
Takari
thought
opened up her
yes.
video,
Yeah,
and the
you see,
way
I'm
this
like that part. Wait, was that she did the apology at the beginning, or this was supposed to be the apology right here?
literally right after that, he talked about. So what you mean is you give your mom grace. That's not what she said at all. Where did you get that from? This is how she started the video.
Yeah,
This is
because
how she
you
started.
talking about she's talking about her grandma. Like that didn't have nothing to do, girl.
And look
That
at
was
her
an
So
choice of.
basically,
apology.
what you're saying is,
So you guys see what I mean by somebody who was very calculated in their responses. That was very calculated because while you were using words, you use words like it was 9 other kids. Who cares if it was 9 other kids? This is the family that she went with, which benefited you and your sister, and it replaced a nanny. You could have had a nanny or you could have had your grandma. Most people have their grandma, an aunt,
Mhm.
somebody like that raise them, or they have a nanny when they're in a celebrity family. But you use that opportunity to put her down. Then who cares if it was 8 other kids? Why is that really your concern, Chantel? No, it isn't.
Yeah,
Then you went into
she
she
the
picked up
problem
the slack.
child. Yeah, she was the
Oh, oh,
problem child.
she
All
was the
that,
problem
like,
child. So if you don't know the reason, why would you pick up that she's a problem child other than she's replacing a nanny while I'm gone on the road with my husband?
mm,
Then you said she probably knew she was probably the problem child, or she was probably the most amazing child because guess what? I can pay a nanny, or I can have the best of both worlds and I can have my mom come and raise my children because I trust her. They will be safe. They will be okay. And I could put that money in her pocket and provide her with the lifestyle instead. Why couldn't it be that? Because you offered a lot of grace to your dad. When the question was, how did he respond? Well, my dad is up for this position and this role. So, he's just trying to stay. How you don't do that for your mom? But you made up
mm.
all these things and put another negative on top of negative on top, the whole thing to me. was all negative jabs at her mom. Perhaps she's taken something off of her for her psyche. How? You the only motherfucker to get on her nerves. And how do you behave that way? Because if your grandmother raised you, I'm really surprised she didn't check you either for
For
your
real.
behavior.
But she probably wouldn't act like that with her grandma. You know, sometimes kids act worse with their parents than they, because grandmas ain't. I'm pretty sure Jackie grandma, it was not taking that.
Thank you. So, how did one have the actual horrible experience? One participated in the horrible experience, but regardless of all that, you offered to come on the show to clear your name and apologize. And you start out with taking jabs at the woman that you're implying that are not true. And then you knew to make sure you wrapped it up with, oh, and my grandma's not here now for me to, run this by her. So you never asked? You
Yeah, that's why I'm
never
like, you
asked.
should have never even spoke on her grandma. Like, you could have said that my grandma took care of us and whoop, whoop, whoop. But you don't know. Your grandma didn't tell you that. And even
Because
if
if
she
you
did, that's not your place to say anything.
Because even if she was a bad kid like you was, because you sound like you was a bad kid. You sound like your mouth was out of control and you openly said you were the one out of all the kids that was the most vocal. What does that mean to y'all? When somebody says I was the one that was most
The
vocal, what does
bad
that mean?
one. The bad one.
It means that
You
I was
challenging the fuck
the
out of your
rebel.
mom.
I was the rebel. I came out. I came with it. I go against everything you say. I'm asking questions. I'm tipping stuff over. I'm doing the most. That's
That's
what
the
it
way I
means.
take it. Now I did hear that in some of um the encounters and the way that Jackie spoke, it wasn't right. It wasn't received well from her. It Things can be, one kid might not take something away and kid might take another way. My mom, when she used to get mad coming up, it used to be, pick that up before I drop kick you. We didn't even get whoopings, so we knew we wasn't getting drop kicked. Like I told you, got to a point where we laughed at mom. Or what was another, like different things that they said. I'm gonna knock you into next week. Uh, all of those things that they say, right? Apparently, Jackie says some of those things, and or would say things like, "Go in there and clean your room." You don't want your dad to come home and be mad, or things like this. And that can be seen, depending on the person, as like mental manipulation or abuse or whatever. But my true belief, unfortunately, in my heart, I feel like Chantel felt like, bitch, you can't say nothing to me. This is my daddy house. This is my daddy money. You can't make me do nothing. I'll go to my daddy, because she doing it now. So to me, you always challenged Jackie and you thought you was gonna go like head up with her. So she just knocked your head between the washer and the dryer. Girl, you got some work to do because you got an 8-year-old. And let's not mention at the beginning, when now you have a husband that's playing basketball and doing well, so you could behave different. But before, when you had your first one, you came straight home and Jackie welcomed you with open arms, went and looked for another place that was inclusive of you. The first 3 years your baby was here, you was right there with your mom. She was right there with you. You was telling Takari she was tripping for taking too long to get over stuff and for writing her book. Then the moment you didn't need her, she went right back to being bad. Girl, why you didn't be like Dakari and say, I'm going to go out there and have my own life and have my own stuff, whatever that means for me.
Right.
Because you're right. You don't have to deal with what nobody do to you. You could go do whatever you want to in your own nice little household. Just saying. But let's see the next clip. Ooh, let's see the next clip from Takari. In case y'all didn't notice, I like her. Unfortunately, it's not a single daggone thing that I appreciate about Chantel at this point. I'm not even a biological mom, baby. And let me tell you something. My niece and nephew are my kids. My god kids are my kids. If they even smack their lips, I'm gonna knock your head between the washer and the dryer.
Yeah,
And
I
they
don't play
know
that little disrespectful mess at all. Like, no.
no.
Period.
No, don't bring your kid around me if you think that I'm gonna
Mhm.
tolerate that. Ask all my god kids. They know from the time they go to kindergarten that I fight toddlers. I do. And if you don't want your toddler fought, raise your toddler better or keep them from around you. That is for my house and the ones under my covering. Okay, ain't gonna happen. That's why some of y'all kids out in stores right now calling people fatback and whatnot. Here we go.
It says your point of view. While your mom is giving them the aha whooping they've been asking for all day.
Yes.
Chantel says, wait, hold on. Aren't you the same daughter that pulled a knife on Jackie? You got 3 kids she's never met in person, but you want to be on the internet taunting me. Girl, tell me you have Stockholm Syndrome without telling me you have Stockholm Syndrome. You should leave me alone. Honestly, truly, this is my last warning shot. Then Brittany jumped in. Brittany jumps in and says, how soon they forget. You wrote a whole book detailing the way you were allegedly treated. By the way, I actually read it. It felt very rushed and overall like a long text message you probably wanted to send her directly. Then you respond, look, you guys, the big 3 are here. And allegedly, but your homegirl made many appearances validating everything I said until she started messing with her dad's prospects and got knocked up and needed mommy and daddy's money, so she switched up, allegedly.
So, for me, I find it very interesting that when Chantel was set in front of Jackie in the scene that you saw at the beginning, Jackie asked her, what is it? What is wrong? And she couldn't state it. In the interview with Carlos, she exhibited and said, similar to the thing with Doug, when she gets frustrated, she spirals, she says whatever she wants to, she does all of these things. If this is a healed person and your sister said that, why didn't you just leave it alone? You don't know how to leave things alone, and you went for the jugular in your responses. Why do you think? I can't stand it when people say, I don't like confrontation, or I try not to do this, and the first opportunity they get, they do just that. So you basically throw rocks and hide your hand face to face.
Period.
Would y'all have let somebody talk like that to your sister on your post that you knew? Because you came with everybody else, but that you knew.
No.
But it don't seem like they get along, so I'm not surprised that she is.
Well, she doesn't get along with her. But my question is, would you allow
I
somebody
wouldn't allow them to do that, but that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't allow to do that because I have a relationship with my sister.
I don't have to have a relationship with my sister, and I'm still not
period?
allowing it.
You're not
It
coming
I'm
for
not
depends.
allowing
If
it.
that
You
was
keep your mouth off her
Yeah,
because she belonged to me, and that's how I
especially
feel.
when you go there with things in a jug. Now, if she would have came in and said, let's not go there, something like that, or it was had outside, fine. But you not finna insult we're not finna look like we double teaming my sister. Like, that's not gonna happen. And why are you talking about the book that she wrote like you some scholarly reviewer? Who are you? What do you have to do with
co-wed.
that
But
conversation?
that's why I was saying you could tell that her and that sister. Well, you said Chantel don't get along with her.
Yeah, she said she tried to reach out to her, and the sister don't want to talk to her.
Yeah, so that's
So
what I'm
she's fine
saying.
with
If
it.
the sisters that don't get along, I can see them in this day and age. I can see it. Now us, I just don't know because I've never been in a predicament like that to know. But just going off of that, I could see them doing it.
Okay.
I can see it. This
Okay.
generation is all the way different from us.
Yeah. They are, because you're not doing it for me. Even the people that I know from my past that are no longer, I have 2 that are no longer best friends. Um, and we were friends, best friends into adulthood. I'm never revealing their secrets. You can't talk about
Right.
them. Like, that shit, I feel like my heart with them is locked into that space, and it's just where that ended. But if you think we're finna talk about, that's still my person from that space. I don't know. It sounds weird, but that's still my person, and I still love them from that space. We just didn't move forward. So for me to sit here and allow you to talk about them, I don't want you to talk about them because my protective space kicks in. Because especially if you're talking about something we did together or a time when we was rocking, like, Who you think you are? You can't say that shit about them. I'm a little bit different.
Period.
It's
Yeah,
not.
that's why I said we're just a different breed from the generation now. So we wouldn't do that, but I don't put nothing past this new generation at all. I don't put nothing past them.
It's so crazy to me. I'm not gonna do it. So let's play the next clip and see what we feel about this. Woo.
You suppressed it, and your anger has manifested.
Absolutely.
Mm.
I read a comment that said, Takari is sad and Chantel is mad. And I said,
Preach.
clock it.
Preach.
That's what you see manifesting. People, because you don't see me crying and carrying on, you can't have any sort of empathy for me, right? You see the anger and it's like, oh, how could you? But if you don't understand my plight, be grateful for that. I've been through a lot of experiences in my life, and that doesn't excuse my behavior. It doesn't.
You hold full accountability
Absolutely.
for your behavior.
Absolutely. When I got to that door, I could have and should have turned around and walked out of it. 1000%. When I seen in real life outside of these cameras, you're not going to take accountability. You're not going to acknowledge what you've been doing all season long. Right now, to the outside world, we both look like fools. I just need to go. I couldn't do that. For the first time in my life, I'm toe to toe with who I feel like was my first bully, and I'm not backing down. I don't, something in me I was spiraling. And that's what you see play out. People think that because I haven't come out and said, I apologize to my mom for this, and that I think that I was right in the altercation or in what happened. There are plenty of instances and times during this season where I was wrong, where I could have removed myself, where I shouldn't have engaged. Absolutely. I understand that. I'm not delusional. Like, I know it looks that way.
Well, I'm glad I wouldn't have been able to even sit up there and watch that podcast. I would not have been able to. 'Cause she pissing me off. She pissing me off. I would not have been able to watch that.
It's a doozy. It's a
Because
doozy.
she's not taking no accountability of nothing. She's not.
Yes, she is. She's not delusional. I am taking
That part.
accountability. Just because I didn't apologize or anything.
Like, girl, what are you taking accountability for? What did you?
Why do you
The
think
reason why
I'm
the only reason why she
apologizing, twin?
Yeah, the only reason why she probably came on here is because, first of all, Carlos King, I'm pretty sure he like, this is a hot topic right now. Let me get you on here. But because of all the backlash she's seen that she was getting on social media, because they was on her head. I didn't see not one person on that girl's side. And just like, remember when I was telling you about it, I said, I don't even like Jackie Christie. And that daughter was wrong, period, point blank. I'm like, Jackie always be the messy one and everything. I said, but that right there, her daughter was wrong, period, point blank. Like, I didn't see not one person on that daughter's side. So I think that's the only reason why she came on here is probably to save face. But you really ain't doing nothing. You might as well stay at home because you're not saying
Right. You
anything.
can't save no face. You look a
Yeah,
fool.
like you not even saying nothing. What are you saying? Girl, I would have been ready to slap her. Like, we can just end this because for what?
So I saved that one for last so that everybody can see we showed grace. They did not see the whole interview, even the way that I saw the whole interview. However, I led it up to that. I pulled clips from different parts of the video and went back and forth from the different videos. This is part one. Part two is the second hour. This was 2 hours of this shit.
Yeah, and that's why I said it was 2 hours, and I was like, I can't watch Chantel. No.
So you started with now let me put on my emotional intelligence human resource hat. And therapy. Let me tell you the reason why the internet, Chantel, come close. Listen to, you know what? I want to make sure you get
Look at me.
the reason why the internet said that your sister is sad and you are mad, that's actually a little tickler they were giving you. We as adults cannot operate from a space of being mad. Mad is actually the covering. What's under it is actually the truth. You haven't got to the truth, meaning you haven't properly healed, started, or even receiving anything that anybody is saying. So when you say bingo and want to own the fact that you were mad, and then kind of you're contradicting yourself because you can't be mad and say, I'm showing grace. I tried. It's her. She's not taking accountability. She's not doing this. She's not doing that. That is all what happens when an adult is mad and a child throws a tantrum. Okay?
Right.
That is what that looks like, sweetheart. You cannot move forward because your dad started a very bad thing, although he did it out of love. Again, our parents only know what they know. When you were in your position in fight or flight, he should have fought. He should have stayed there and worked through that conversation, because what you have been taught is you can walk away from things that you don't like. And then when you come back, people have to engage with you how you want to, which includes being mad, angered, smart remarks, and making them pay for what they did. While they have healed and moved forward, you're still stuck and you want to pull them back with you because you've held on to that anger, because you have to be justified, right? You want to be understood. It's not working in your favor, my love. It's not working in your favor because you need to heal. You're not mad either. You're jealous. You are.
Mm.
And some girls, why is question, why is it cute when a son is overprotective of a mother and doesn't want another man to touch him or anything like that, but with a daughter, when a woman is trying to say that their daughter behaves a certain way due to that jealousy, and we need to pay attention to this a little bit different, why is it not received when a woman says that? And it absolutely exists because they don't know their boundaries. You got to teach them.
They don't realize these little girls is born with these possessive demons. They don't realize it.
Well, I think it's very unfair to some mothers because some mothers really truly go through this, and their daughter believes that their husband is theirs because that's the one that takes her on a date and does all of these things. And we're born with that nurturing thing, that playing with dolls and wanting a family, excuse me, and all of that. So if it's not directed in the first right way, i.e., checking her or correcting her, excuse me, not checking her, correcting her when she's very little. And some daughters think their dad is their husband. They'll call him honey and address him and don't want you to kiss the mom and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, you actually have to fix that because it manifests. Everything we do has to be controlled, i.e., a parent training us,
Stop.
and you have to pay attention. She clearly has daddy issue. She probably believes she should be on the road with her dad too. She probably wanted all of them to go. Maybe she thought we should all be able to go and enjoy this particular type of lifestyle. And maybe that made her upset. But you usually take it out on one person. And who's the easiest target? Jackie. Who's the easiest target on the show? Jackie. Is she the most messiest? Yep. We want to know why? Because we just recently found out with reality TV, they tell one person to do certain things and they tell them to bring that bone. They always tell her. So is she the most messy? No, she's the one that delivers the message. Now we know that about reality TV, So it's technically not true. And they all know it too.
Not
So why they
really.
get
It's
mad?
not really reality TV. It's scripted TV.
Right, right. But my point in all of that is that not the perfect platform for her to come and get her together and expose who she is, like she spewed out at the end? Everybody will see who you are.
Look, I'm
Or,
like, yeah, yeah.
or everybody will see who you want everybody to see she is. Maybe she's not those things to other people, just like you're not the same way with everybody else. It appears
Mm-hmm.
as though you have a good relationship with everybody else. You two just need to sit down and heal. But Jackie is not. I think at some point it's abuse to the parent How many times does she got to sit down and let you spew the venom? As a mother, Ro, if you were in this type of situation, how many times do you believe if you had a daughter or your son, let's say Amir has an issue, whatever it is, and he tells you when he gets older, but he's just so set on it. How many times do you supposed to apologize and like try and try?
I think now that I'm older, I would probably, if he told me how he felt, I would want him to get it all out. Like, tell me how you feel and get it all out. Don't say none for later and keep on telling me this stuff. Like, let's get it all out in the open right now so we can talk about it. And then that's it. I do feel like if you talk about it and you guys say that you forgive and all that, that you really are supposed to forgive. You're not supposed to keep bringing stuff up when you get mad and all that. So I would expect him to get everything out in the open. Let's talk about it. You might not forget about it right now, but we're not going to keep bringing this up because I'm apologizing for what I did. I'm truly apologizing, and let me know how I can make it better. They need to sit down like that and have a conversation, or they need to go to therapy, one of them, because you can't just keep bringing stuff up. We never know if they did have that conversation and Jackie apologized and you still
She
just bring
did.
it up.
We saw it on
Yeah.
TV. But then they
So
did
it's
it
no reason for
again.
you to bring it. It's no reason for you to bring it up. I don't like when people do that. When they say they apologize to somebody and that person accepts it and then they keep bringing it up. I always say that, like, if I say that I apologize to you, I'm not going to bring it up no more because I feel like it should be over. I shouldn't be allowed to just keep bringing it up because you said something and I said I apologize and we just going from that. Like I said, you can forgive, but you don't have to forget. But if you say you forgive somebody, you're not supposed to keep doing that.
Right.
And if I was Jackie, I would have. She didn't, like I said before, Jackie didn't get her good enough, if you ask me.
I don't think so either. So, folks, let me share. So, the other day, I'm not quite sure how we got on the topic, but we were talking about something, and then I think it's how you're raised and how you could your kids have to do certain things to be a contributor, especially when you have a single parent. Somehow I brought up to my mom that I felt like it was a punishment to have to take my sister wherever I went. Until I talked to her as an adult. I was bringing up an example because we were talking about something, not throwing it in my mom's face. My mom forgives me for some of the stuff I did. Well, everything I did. And I forgive her for everything I assumed. And she forgive me for everything she assumed. I think when you take something because of all of the factors that was there at a particular point, and then you rework it as an adult, it's a great disservice to yourself if you don't go back and rework that in your brain as well. This is what my mom responded with when I said that. She was like, "You really felt like that?" And I was like, "Yeah, Taisha was never a problem, nothing like that. But I just wanted some time by myself with my friends." And she was like, "Well, I didn't have a sibling coming up. I truly was doing it just so that you guys could have a good relationship, grow up closer, this and that." Immediately in my brain, I checked that off as another thing that I have healed from. Because where I'm thinking she's punishing me and you don't trust me and you don't this, you don't that, which made me do things as if she didn't trust me because I'm thinking you sent an I spy. You just did it because you wanted us to be besties. Well, girl, why you didn't say that?
You
So
know,
now
see,
that
my mom, I did that before too. And I remember I talked about it on my podcast and my mom was in her feelings about it. And I really did not know. She was like, I apologize to you so many times about that, Rashonda, and you always bring it up. And I was like, well, I accept your apology. I said, but am I not supposed to? I'm just giving an example. Like,
right.
it was the same thing. Like,
No,
she
mommy, I
made
forgive
Shatia,
you. Right.
yeah, she made Shatia come with me all the time. And I hated that. So now going forward, Shatia won't do that to her kids because Shatia know how I felt. So she'd be like, when her daughters get invited somewhere, if one of them get invited, they be like, oh, she can bring her sister. And then I'll be like, did you let her go, Shatia? She'd be like, no, because I already know how you felt. Like, so I would never do that to my kids. And so I had to explain that to my mom. Like, I'm not trying to put you on blast or nothing, mommy. I was like, but that's how I felt. And I don't think, sometimes I still think that she don't understand. Like, she don't understand. I'm like, because I got in trouble. I would, y'all's was different. I would get in trouble for the stuff Shatia
Yeah,
did because
that's
my mom like,
way different.
you're the oldest daughter, and I'm like, okay, but I'm not doing this stuff. This
But
menace
you were
to
supposed to
society
be
is doing
watching
this,
her.
Right, right. That's
but
so.
I'm getting in trouble for it.
And we have podcasts now. One thing that we do where we can is apply how we've also applied these things in our
Yes.
lives because it's beneficial, right? Something as small as that actually bothered me a little bit my whole life, but not my
Mhm.
whole life. I take that back until I was 16. Because when I told my mom was that when I was 16 that I didn't even want to share a room with my sister, my mom moved my sister in a room with her and gave me my own room because to her it was this is my child. I had this child. We got the big room. I could share with her, and she does deserve her own room. Right then and there, I knew I could talk to my mom about anything. Right
Oh,
then
see,
and there,
that's good. Me and Shatia
she
was
did.
fighting until we became adults, like bringing out the scissors and knives, trying to stab each other. Like I was not playing with her. And my mom would be like, I just pray to God I'm still living to see you guys get along. So she'd
They
be so
actually get
happy
along
that
very
we,
well. Yeah. Again, it was okay. So y'all can see how passionate Rose still is about this thing because there were several things attached, but it one has not made her disrespect her mother when she
at
calls
all.
to explain it, or sometimes it's hurtful to mommy. Our parents is gonna be hurt too when they hear that something that they did to us hurt us. If they truly care, it does hurt them to replay it because, especially if it wasn't their intention. So have grace for your damn parents. Reparent yourself. You have grace for these damn men over and over, and your friends.
For
Have
real.
grace for your mama and your family. Don't make sense. But either way, we're sharing from two different perspectives, a very similar situation with different moving pieces. It just came up for me the other day. And then mom, I never heard that explanation before. So although I already forgave mom, because again, right when I said something, my mama didn't make me feel bad. She understood, and I didn't go in there disrespecting my mom. It was just,
Right.
mom, can we talk? And at 16, you really feeling yourself. But I didn't do that to my mom. So the end result was much better. Now, fast forward, it comes up again. And when she explained that, like, oh no, I did that because I wanted y'all to be close, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, shit, you had a whole reason it made sense. I say that because when they were sitting down and it was Chantel and her mom and the other daughter, Takari was receiving it like that, like, oh, okay, I understand now. Chantel's still sitting there like, girl, you already don't want to be there. That's where that mad
Yeah.
word came from. That's not cool, homie. That's not cool. And never have I heard you take accountability for saying I spoke to my mom out of pocket. Girl, you got some growing to do. Let's read the comments. So mom said, as long as it's needed and it's respectful. So that's how many times you would address the situation as long as it's respectful. Okay, that's fair. Sometimes you don't remember everything all in one conversation. Oh, that's funny. I just gave an example of that. Correct. You don't. Um, at least ask the sibling, not around the older child if they want to take them. I think that's fair because
Yeah,
sometimes
that
you
is
might.
fair. But
Yeah,
I would Shatia, I ask my nieces all the time. I'd be like, Jordan, do you want Momo to come with you? She'd be like, no, Auntie Roro. But Shatia, no. So Shatia is already like, I
right.
already know how Rashonda felt. So I'm not gonna do that to my girls. And I'd be
But
like,
just think
good.
if we never discussed that, right? So that's
Yeah,
a
we would have
generational
never.
thing that could be
Hmm.
passed down, right? Because you're doing it for whatever reason, but you don't realize how much pressure it puts on the one that's older, especially when they get into trouble and whatnot. And it could actually make the relationship worse. So let's say you didn't say that and then it did keep going. Every time we talk about something, y'all, it gives everybody a better understanding and the next generation get to be better. Skylar has never been required to watch Kieran, never required to take her. Now they go shopping together. They do all of this stuff because it's just natural. Let them grow and be friends. Me and my sister
Yeah.
are the closest we have ever been. We are not alike. We have the same morals, values, humor, but she's tech. I'm statistics. She's creative. I'm HR. We're polar opposites. However, this is the best our relationship has ever been because we decided maybe 8 years ago, funny that number 8, maybe 8 years ago, I'm not like you and you're not like me. We focus on the wrong shit. No, I don't want to go with you to get your nails done. But when you go to the lunch party, invite me to that. Finding what the things, focusing on the things that are alike. Chantel don't seem like she do to y'all. It seems like she want to focus on anything good.
Nope,
Because
she
there's
likes
nothing
misery.
good that come. Yeah, she just want to be negative.
She likes it.
You think she like it, Des?
I know she does. Some people feed off of that. They feed
Yeah.
off of people seeing
Hmm.
them as the victim, even though they're not the victim. And some people, like, however old she was when her and her mama started butting heads, is how old she is acting at this time. So it's like she is still stuck at whatever
I
age she
think she
was.
said 9,
So
around
she is
9
still
or
a
something.
9 year old child talking to us as an adult. And therefore, you have not healed that 9 year old child. You have not realized that at 9 years old, your little monkey ass was out of line. You was out of line at 9. You're out of line at whatever the fuck age you are today. You was out of line on all those tapings. You're out of line. And the fake apology, like, I do respect the fact that you respect the fact that they were sick of you putting all of their business out there to tell your story.
Right.
That's about the only thing you truly just
Oh, stop
added up
talking
to.
to yeah.
You took ownership for that. That's it. Everything else you felt like you were entitled to do. You felt like it was your right, even though you knew you were out of line. You even admitted, hey, stop, to being out of, you admitted to being out of line. And yet you still
Kept going.
sitting up
So this
there
wasn't
feeling
an
like you
apology
need to
video. It
hey,
was an explanation video.
That's why
She
we kept on
hey,
saying, "Where is the apology?
stop,
Where is the apology? Like, where did you
Mm.
apologize at? There
go the other way.
was no apology."
So she really wanted to explain herself and further
Correct.
you.
You wanted to justify
Ah.
your BS. You wanted to justify it. Ain't no justification for disrespect. And I can understand if we can say children, the words say obey your parents so so that your days may last longer. Be honor your mother and your father. Okay. And the Bible also tells your parents not to provoke you. And I semi watched Basketball Wives only to see that Jackie did everything that in her greatest power to not provoke you, girl, and yet you still showed your natural ugly ass. And you think you are okay with doing it. And I just hate it for you because you have a daughter and your day is coming. Because all I see is a repeated situation with you marrying this basketball player who got enough money to do the same thing that your daddy did for you with your mother, who your mother only used to tell you that your daddy would be mad just to help you get things done to keep that as a healthy relationship. And you can't even see where your mom was working on your behalf in that process. All you can see is what she did not do or what you felt like she should have done. And either way, y'all always trifling. And I'm sure Jackie had her trifling moments as well, but
Mhm.
grandma did raise you. And I know that grandma taught you better than that, but did she though? And did Jackie mama like her? Clearly not, because ain't no telling what that girl was hearing the whole time she was being raised to think that she should buck her mother in such a manner. So I think
Mhm.
it's just a awful situation all the way around because grandma is dead. She can't admit she can't talk for herself. Hey, go on with that. She can't talk with herself for herself. She cannot say or justify what happened between her and her daughter to get us to this place. I let you see these little rascals, mom, because they are awful.
I don't think it's actually going to be a result. I think that I pray that it is because they have grandchildren now. Aw, they have grandchildren that they should be able to see and enjoy um and a rebirth of a relationship with the daughters. One daughter is on board. The son, little Doug, is just, where is he? Like, I think that they need to take some time off of camera and get their family, if it's not in order, and try to bring everybody close. But everybody has to be a willing participant, I think maybe Chantel should go to therapy by herself first to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to process these things outside of the glitz and glamour, um, and away from everything. She really needs to do some healing, because if her daughter sees and hears this anger and is overhearing these conversations or things like that, it's going to form the way she feels about the grandma, the way she feels about a grandma. And you're essentially taking something from her that she can have. Most parents rebuild through the grandkids sometimes. That happens too. But I think she's using she is using the grandkids um as a pawn against her too, which is completely unfair, because she helped you the first 3 years with the first one. Then you just took her and moved away, but you didn't take her and move her away on your own. You moved away because you got with a basketball player. Now your life is better and you can go do this thing, and live your life. But where did you tell us that you did the work? You're not healed. You're still mad. Anything Jackie does, I think, is going to be an irritant to her. I don't think she's going to do better. And she pops off so quickly and thinks it's okay. Well, my dad gets me out of those situations before I spiral. Your daddy ain't never told you it's not okay to spiral. And how come it's okay
Right.
for you to spiral, but Jackie not to spiral? But we didn't see her spiral the whole season. When I went back and looked at different clips, somebody pulled clips, and almost every show that girl was coming for her mom, nose flared, allowing the other two to sit there and talk about her too. And every time, Jackie, I'm not doing this with you on camera. If we didn't have a problem before, if we do have a problem, we could talk about it, but off camera. Oh no, I'm going to talk about it right here.
Yeah, because I don't think Jackie would have brought her on that show if she knew she was going to act like that. I do not think she would have did that.
Come on. Come on. Exactly. Now you done moved all the way, because she was staying in Arizona first. You moved all the way out here in the same building as Jackie.
Right.
Why would you do? And then when Jackie tells you, oh, I think I should have a key in case something happens. No, we have boundaries, even in the tone of your voice. You and Jackie said, okay, I understand. She reaches out to get the grandson. Let's not do that. He needs time to warm up to you. Let's not act like you know him. You don't think that those things are antagonizing? Why, that's mean. Why did you need to say that? Needs time to warm up. Well, what baby need time to warm up? So as long as she doesn't want to forgive and grow and heal, it's going to be toxic on her part. I don't think she sees that part, because she thinks she's amazing, and it's everybody else that makes her spiral. So let's play the last clip. I'll allow them to give their final thoughts, and then we'll be back next week.
Falling off of that train.
Next week for part 2. Here we go. This is the last clip.
That she's falling off of that train because she kept saying, "Keep provoking me." Or, "This is my last warning. This is my this." Now she's taking another route, whereas to say we both need healing, and you're provoking me, and you're on the internet trying to get a reaction out of me, and it's just that no, you wanted to give a reaction. That's why you came and made such an allegation against me and my name.
So again, Chantel thinks everybody else should be quiet. Meanwhile, she's done all of her interviews. Not only did you do your interviews, you found the post Takari made, and you allowed your friend to comment on it as well. But you think everybody else around you should just allow you to do what you want to do, and you police them and tell them they shouldn't respond or they shouldn't do certain things. That's what we'll end with. How do you guys feel about her feeling like everybody is provoking her and she doesn't do anything to
If
anybody?
I had a sister like her, I would keep on talking so she could say something.
Okay, Des. Oh, her microphone is off. Okay, let me tell you. I think it's absolutely asinine. That's that entitlement bullshit
Girl.
at the height. And y'all, if she's acting like this right now at this grown age, where Carlos, oh, I get it now, you're stuck at the age of when X, Y, and Z happened. Yes, I am. 2 seconds later, I am 32 years old now and blah, blah, blah. Which one is it? Which one is it? Because when it's time for you to be accountable or sit down and face the issue and have an adult conversation, then no. I'm still this 6 year. I get flustered with my words, and she knows that. That's why she provokes me. Doesn't look like she provokes you. Looks like she always tells you, I'm not going to do this, and you keep going. But if you're flustered with your words, sound very flustered when you want to attack. Only when it's time for you to have an adult conversation and just sit there and talk. Then I don't understand. Girl, my best advice would be, if for no other reason, go to therapy for yourself, because your children and you deserve better. You are not living right now. Those people that say, what do they say? I'm isolating myself. I can't think of the word. I don't talk to them. I don't deal with them. I don't deal with nobody. You don't deal with nobody in your family. You don't want to know anything about your lineage. You don't want to do better. I don't understand. And clearly the family is open to it because Takara has. So you can. Your mom keeps opening the door. Your dad is available. You have all the resources if you want to use them. I suggest you use them and start with yourself, because I can't imagine how that's translating with you as a mother, and not
Right.
intentionally. And you're going to want grace one day, not intentionally, or translating in you being a wife, because it's not translating very well in you being a sister or a daughter. The Shanks are slamming this lady. Listen, I don't know. How do you feel, Ro, for your closing remarks? Next week is part 2. All that was only half.
It's just a lot. I feel like she's just disrespectful, and Jackie should have beat the hell out of her. That's how I feel. They shouldn't have stopped her from fighting her.
Is it just me? Is there some awful feedback?
No, I don't have awful feedback.
I just feel like they should have let her get her. Like they should have really let Jackie whoop on her. Like for real. Because she hasn't learned her lesson.
I,
That's how I feel.
I don't understand. And even y'all, even she threw something at Jackie as well. She wasn't done. She tried to throw something at her. Uh, y'all ever heard any stories of back in the day when when they called it, when you start to feel yourself basically go through puberty, and the daughter would buck up to the mom like she didn't have to listen to her or whatever, and then before the daughter knew it, the daughter's head would be in the oven, or she took the pan she was cooking with and popped her upside the head with it, or the dad did what he, because you stepped up to her like a woman on the street. The words alone was enough for me. Calling her bitch, I don't
Yeah.
respect you. I don't respect you. That's impossible for a person that's sitting there saying that they're showing grace. How are you? Oh, you're smelling yourself. How? Hmm, y'all. If that was me, she wouldn't have made it out of there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They shouldn't have stopped it. They should not have stopped it. That's one time they should have let them fight. They let them fight any other time. So why they didn't let Jackie get her?
Especially since the daughter was still going for her, and she went
They should
straight
have let her
downstairs
get
and
her.
lied about what happened. I
Yeah,
don't
that was the
know.
part that got me too, because I was like, I wonder how they didn't feel after they see what really happened when she went down there and was like, "Oh, my mom attacked me," and they're like, "What?" and going along with her. I wonder how did all of them feel after they seen it.
Oh, well, what's her name? Ming? One of them is
Oh,
named
me,
Ming.
the one that go with a basketball player.
So Ming had immediately, when it released, said an apology to Jackie. She was like, "You right
Shut up.
several times." She was like, "Several times you asked us to stay out of it, and we really should have. We should have stayed out of it. I apologize. Additionally, I was told when she came downstairs that you put your hands on her and you did this stuff. And I gave my opinion in the green room, as it's happening. So she was like, I'm sorry. That wouldn't have been my response. I should have stayed out of it. I'm sorry. Chantel immediately unfriended her for apologizing to Jackie, because she's like, how are you going to apologize to her when we was there, you said you felt X, Y, and Z. So Ming did just a short 10-minute video. You could, if you guys want to see it, go look at it. Just a short 10-minute video, and was like, let's be honest. I even called you after to check on you. I feel like you lied to us. Because let me tell you something. I don't get along with my mom. This is how I feel. I've been on the way to a red carpet, and I got out of the car from with my mom from behaving like this. My mama calling my friend bitch, and still, while I'm gonna protect my friend and say, mom, it's not right, my friend better never say nothing to my mom. So I can tell you from a place of this is still happening to me. Just in the last couple of years, we're getting along. She said, you came straight downstairs and you lied to us, and you had us all responding and so upset in a way that it was this. And if you felt like you remember the difference from the excitement of it all, whatever. Once it released, and I called you to check and see if once we came from Hawaii and I called to check and see if you was okay. Why then didn't you say, I stand corrected, I need to at least say this? Why didn't you do that? So you had your dad in such a frenzy that he requested the raw, uncut footage because he wanted to see what occurred. You was wrong, and you owe all of us an apology, and you're a liar. So why you feel like, and you saying on all these platforms, I owe you an apology? No, you owe me an apology, because never would I have done that to my mom. You was wrong, and you're the one who lied. So what else have you lied about? I said, oh, so that's how they feel. But she the only one who apologized, I believe. Let's apologize to Jackie. So that's how that's going. So y'all, we'll see you next week for part 2, because because they knew they wouldn't be able to get Jackie off her. Absolutely not. She would have locked in like a bulldog. She would have locked in bad. Jackie would have had a death grip on. Oh yes. I don't think that would have gone well I think they wouldn't have been able to release that footage. But Chantel seems like the type of person that would have filed charges. She seemed like the type that would have filed charges. So I don't know. I think it's crazy. Do the work, honey. Don't come back on TV and stop putting people around you who agree with or can relate to what you are telling them happened to you and they are actually dealing with. Be grateful for your mom, and y'all grow and move together. Your mama still love you, girl. Do you know how many people let go of their kids too? Because they don't have to take the behavior. She don't need you. You need her. She needs you for her heart. But I mean, girl. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Thank you to my guests for showing, or my co-host for showing up, and my guests. Next week, we will be doing part 2. If you have any feedback, please include it below. If there's a clip I could find that goes with what you want to discuss, let me know. Because I'm also doing a review of the whole video. I'm doing that by myself because my girls don't got time. And it's a lot. If y'all listen to it, be ready for Excedrin, okay? Because I don't think any melanated person, I would say all melanated people in their right mind would look at that and not say 2 things. 1, I would have got dog walked. And 2, I wish my child would, because we all have that type of fire in us. So make sure that you subscribe, and also go onto Amazon and buy my coloring book journal and the coloring book planner as well. Guess what I have coming out? A new one. Is actually a guided journal. And guess what it's about? Reparenting and learning how to do things over and being the best you can be. She did it already, y'all. It'll be out in a couple days. I'm just waiting on Amazon. So that is it from me. Girls, you want to tell them where to find you?
Well, you can find me on, I don't know what day now, because I'm moving still, and I'm really all over the place. So I don't even know when I'm coming back. I'm trying to figure out a day to come back, because I really I really don't know, but you can find me on Talk to Rose. Maybe I'll do one on Saturday or something. I don't know
Okay.
what day.
And she
But
has
you
some
can
great
find me.
content out there already, guys.
Yeah, but I'm on Talk to Rose if you guys want to go watch some replays or something like that.
Yes. And what about you, Des?
You can find me on YouTube, Delicious Dilemmas 101.
On YouTube only?
Oh, Facebook, Delicious. Instagram, Delicious. TikTok, it's delicious.
And happy
Everywhere,
and
it's delicious.
happy happy Charity Day, you guys.
Oh
I
yeah.
have given such awful feedback, so I don't know what's being said,
I
but I
should
had a
have
blast.
I should have worn my folding chair earrings, but happy folding chair day and gratefully we
Yes,
have not had to have a repeat. Sometimes see, excellent ending. Sometimes you got to show them just once and then they don't repeat the same thing.
exactly.
Has
That's why
she
they should
got
have let
that
her.
happen to her? Has she got checked back then? Yeah, and raise your hand if you've been checked as you was coming up, and you might have done some stupid shit again, but you didn't do that again, and you
You're
didn't do
right.
nothing close to it again, and you kind of whispered like Norbert, "I hate you," but you didn't say it directly to your parent. She done lost her mind. Blood of Jesus. I will see y'all next
Hearing.
week. Have a good night.